Hi, I'm Luke, 29, and last Thursday at our weekly family dinner I accidentally blew up a bomb I didn't even know my sister had planted months ago. It started harmlessly enough. We were all squeezed around my parents' dining table like we always are on Thursdays. Mom was bragging about her tomato plants, Dad was pretending to hate the casserole he eats every week, and my sister, Olivia, was sitting there scrolling on her phone like the world exhausted her. And me? I was feeling good, confident, maybe even proud. My 30th birthday is next week, and for once, I'd actually hinted at something I wanted. The new espresso machine I'd been eyeing for months, the one Mom said was too expensive, and Dad said was just hot bean water. So while we were passing around the garlic bread, I grinned and said, I can't wait for my birthday present. Just a joke, a harmless, stupid little joke. Except Olivia froze. Not like a normal freeze, like a glitching NPC. Her fork hovered in midair. Her eyes locked onto mine with something weird and sharp, then she swallowed hard, looked down, and stabbed her mashed potatoes like they insulted her. Mom kept talking, Dad kept eating, but Olivia? She couldn't stop looking at me. Except now her expression had changed entirely. It wasn't confusion, it was panic. And then she said, barely above a whisper, You're expecting a present? I laughed awkwardly. Well, I mean, yeah? It's my birthday? Next week? Her face went pale, not embarrassed pale, not oops I forgot pale. This was the kind of pale that makes your stomach drop because you instantly know something is wrong, and you just haven't been told what yet. Mom noticed. Olivia, honey, you okay? She pushed back her chair so suddenly it screeched. I need to make a call, she muttered before practically sprinting out of the house. Left her bag, left her phone, left her shoes. Who runs outside barefoot in November? I looked at my parents, they looked at each other, and all of us had the exact same expression. What in the world did she do? 10 minutes later, Olivia stormed back in, grabbed her bag, grabbed her phone, grabbed her shoes, and hissed at me. Luke, I need to talk to you alone. Now. I followed her to the driveway, where she paced like she was trying to walk off a felony. I can explain, she said breathlessly. Explain what? She dragged both hands down her face. I didn't get you a birthday present. I stared at her. Okay? Then, get one now? No, Luke, you don't get it, she said, eyes wild. I didn't get you a birthday present, because I already gave it to someone else. What? And that's when she told me the one thing that made my blood run cold. The thing you asked for? The espresso machine? I gave it to someone else, because I thought you didn't want it anymore. Who? I asked. Olivia winced so hard her whole body folded inwards. My fiancé. Fiancé? I repeated. Olivia, you're not even dating anyone. She nodded, lip trembling. I know, that's the other part we need to talk about. Olivia stood in the driveway hugging her elbows, breathing like she'd sprinted a marathon, while I tried to process the two nuclear sentences she just dropped on me. She'd given away my expensive birthday present to a fiancé she apparently conjured out of thin air. I rubbed my temples. Okay, start from the top. You're engaged? She winced. Well, not legally. That's not how fiancés work. I know, she snapped before groaning into her hands. This is such a disaster. Olivia, I said slowly. Who did you give my gift to? She looked at me with the kind of shame usually reserved for people who ding luxury cars in a parking lot. His name is Callum. Never heard of him. You weren't supposed to. She muttered, pacing again. Because he isn't. Look, I guess you could say he's my online fiancé. I blinked twice. Online fiancé. Don't say it like that. There isn't another way to say it. She groaned louder. We've been talking for 7 months. He's British, he's sweet, he sends me voice notes and good morning messages. We watch movies together on video call. He calls me his future wife, and I didn't correct him, and then it became a thing. And then, you bought him a $900 espresso machine? I didn't just buy it, she muttered. I used Mom's Amazon account. I stared at her. She stared at the ground. So Mom bought a $900 espresso machine for a British man who does not exist. He exists. Totally exists. I raised an eyebrow. Have you met him? She shuffled her feet. Not in person. Is he coming for Christmas? He was, but then his passport got stolen and let me guess, he needed money to replace it. She went silent. Olivia, I said softly. Please tell me you didn't send him money. I didn't, she said quickly. Good. I sent him gifts. How many gifts? She squeezed her eyes shut. Enough that Mom's credit card got flagged for fraud. I pinched the bridge of my nose. How much did you spend? She whispered something. What? $2,000? And 63. Olivia! I know! She wailed, pulling at her hair. I know I messed up. She plopped down on the curb like a deflating balloon. I thought he loved me, she said quietly. He said he couldn't wait to make coffee for me with that machine every morning. He said it would be our ritual. It felt real. I sat beside her. As annoyed as I was, hurt even. I wasn't blind. This wasn't her being selfish. This was her being lonely. I sighed. Okay, we'll figure it out. She turned to me, wide-eyed. You're not mad? I'm furious, I corrected, but also trying very hard not to let this become a true crime documentary. She nodded miserably. That's when Mom opened the front door. Kids, dessert is out, she called sweetly then. Olivia? What's wrong? Why are you crying? Luke, what did you do? Olivia shot up, eyes blazing. Nothing, Mom. Mom froze at the tone, rare for Olivia. Then Mom said something I wasn't prepared for. Olivia, your friend called, the British one, he left a voicemail. Olivia and I exchanged a glance. A bad one. A terrified one. We rushed inside. Mom hit play, and that's when his voice filled the room. Olivia, sweetheart, you need to send the tracking number. My mate can't pick up the espresso machine unless you do. You're making this unnecessarily difficult. Don't forget what I told you. If you really loved me, you'd do it faster. The message ended. Mom stared at her daughter. I stared at my sister, and Olivia whispered, That's not how he usually talks. I exhaled. Olivia? Yeah? This guy isn't your fiancé. She swallowed. I know, she whispered, but he is now threatening me. Olivia didn't move, didn't blink, didn't breathe. Threatening me. Two words you never want to hear from your sister when she's been sending gifts, including my birthday present, to a man she's never met. My parents stared at her like she just confessed to hiding a body in the backyard. Honestly, her expression matched the vibe. I kept my voice calm. Liv, what exactly did he say? She sank into the nearest chair and gripped the table like the room was spinning. It started 2 days ago. He said he needed the tracking number for the espresso machine, and when I asked why he couldn't just wait for delivery like a normal person, he got cold. Cold how? Dad asked, already reaching for his phone like he was about to call Homeland Security. Olivia swallowed. He told me if I didn't get him the machine by Friday, he'd ruin everything. My stomach tightened. Everything like? She looked at me, eyes wet. He said he knows my full name, my work, my Instagram, that he could make sure my family regretted making him wait. Mom gasped. Dad muttered something about finding this British clown and feeding him to a wood chipper. Olivia kept going. I didn't tell anyone because I thought maybe I misunderstood. He gets stressed sometimes. He said it was the time zone. He said he was sick, he said. Her voice cracked. He said I was the only person who ever believed in him. There it was. The hook. The vulnerability he'd latched onto. God, I wanted to punch something. I took a breath. Liv, this guy is scamming you, and now he's trying to intimidate you. She nodded miserably. But you did the right thing telling us. I said. We'll handle it. Dad nodded. Damn right. Mom, surprisingly, wasn't yelling. She took Olivia's hand gently. Honey, how much information does he have? Olivia wiped her eyes. Too much. I told him where I work, when my shifts are. And he. She hesitated. He has my address. Mom nearly fainted. Dad swore so loudly the dog ran upstairs. I tried to keep steady, even though my pulse was pounding. Okay, first thing, block him. I tried. Olivia whispered. He keeps making new accounts. Of course he does. Second thing, we're contacting the police. Dad said firmly. But Olivia shook her head violently. No, no, no. If I report him, he'll get angry, he'll retaliate. He said he could make my life a nightmare. He said scammers know how to end people. I don't want to make it worse. Liv, I said carefully. You already tried giving him everything he wanted. Did it get better? She stared down at the table. No, it got worse. Exactly? She nodded, trembling. Then Mom said something none of us expected. We're getting the police involved. End of discussion. Olivia broke, full-on sobbing, and as she cried into our mother's shoulder, I stepped away to listen to the voicemail again. Something about his tone, It wasn't just threatening. It was angry, entitled, like he genuinely thought she owed him. But then, as the message replayed, something else made my blood run cold, a voice in the background, another man, American, clear as day. Tell her she better hurry, we've got a buyer waiting. Buyer? For the espresso machine. This was no lonely British dude in love with her. This was a whole operation. And Olivia had given them her address. I turned back to her, heart hammering. Liv, did you send them anything else? She sniffed, nodding weakly. Just a selfie once. Mom froze. A face picture? Yes. What kind? Olivia hesitated. A beat. A longer beat, then barely above a whisper. A nice one. Mom blinked. Dad turned purple. I closed my eyes. Define nice. She buried her face in her hands. Shoulders up, but pretty, suggestive. Good, perfect, wonderful, great. Now the scammers had her address, her face, her workplace, her name, and blackmail material. I rubbed my forehead. Liv, why didn't you tell us earlier? She sobbed harder. Because I thought he loved me. Everyone went silent, and for the first time since dinner, Olivia looked up, eyes red, voice shaking, not with fear but with shame. And because, she whispered, I didn't realize the real danger until today. Dad leaned forward. What danger? She looked at me. Luke, they told me someone is coming to pick up the machine tomorrow. My entire body went cold. Tomorrow. A scammer, at her house. In person. I stood up so fast my chair nearly fell. Okay. I said. That's it, we're not waiting, we're locking your place down, getting you out of there, and. But Olivia interrupted me with a tiny, broken voice. I can't. Why not? She swallowed. Because someone already came by. Silence, then she whispered. And he left a note on my door. Olivia didn't hand me the note, she didn't even reach for it. She just stared at me with that hollow, stunned expression people get when they've already cried themselves dry. What do you mean someone came by? I asked slowly. She swallowed. When I got home from work today, there was a piece of paper taped to my door, no envelope, just tape there. Mom covered her mouth. Dad muttered something that sounded like jail time, and over my dead body. In the same sentence I stepped closer. Liv, what did it say? She hesitated, because saying it out loud made it real. Then, it said, delivery missed, we'll return tomorrow for pickup. Dad scoffed. Pickup? Pickup? What the hell kind of delivery service tapes handwritten threats to someone's door? Olivia's voice cracked. That's not the worst part. She reached into her purse and pulled out her phone. With trembling fingers, she opened her gallery and handed it to me. There, on her screen, a photo. Not a note, a photo of Olivia standing outside her building, taken from a distance, grainy, slightly blurred, clearly taken that morning, and on the bottom, digitally added text. Cute smile, we'll see you soon. My breath left my body. Mom sat down like her knees gave out. Dad reached for the counter to steady himself. And Olivia, she looked like she was about to collapse again. They took that picture while I was locking my bike. I didn't see anyone, not a single person. I forced myself to stay calm. Liv, okay. Listen to me. I put a steady hand on her shoulder. You're not going back there, not tonight, not tomorrow, not until this is handled. She shook her head helplessly. Luke, my work uniform is there, my laptop, my meds, my whole life is there. And we'll get all of that out tomorrow. I said, with backup. Dad nodded. We're calling the police now. But when he reached for his phone, Olivia grabbed his wrist. Dad, don't. Olivia, Dad, please. Her voice cracked. If they find out I told anyone, they already know where you live. Mom snapped. You want to wait until they break your windows? Or worse? Olivia folded in on herself. I feel so stupid. I crouched down so we were eye level. Liv, scam artists target lonely people, kind people, people who trust too easily, they're predators, this isn't your fault. But she didn't look convinced. Because she wasn't afraid of being scammed anymore. She was afraid of being hurt. Mom wrapped an arm around her. Dad started pacing, muttering every threat he wished he could legally carry out. Then Mom said softly, Honey, there's something else we need to tell you. Olivia frowned. What? Mom exchanged a look with Dad. The kind of look that means, we didn't want to tell them yet. Mom sighed. Your Aunt Lisa got an email a few days ago, from the same man. Olivia's head snapped up. From Callum? Mom nodded. saying you and he were engaged, and asking her for a small gift to help you two start your life together. Just like that, Olivia's face drained of color. He used my name with our family? She whispered. Yes, Mom said softly. And not just Aunt Lisa. Dad cleared his throat. Your grandmother sent him $500. Olivia swayed like she might faint. Grandma sent him money? Mom reached for her hand. I'm so sorry, honey, we only found out yesterday. We weren't sure how to tell you. Olivia stared into nothing, completely numb. He lied to me, she said quietly. But he used me to scam our family. I nodded grimly. That's how these operations work. They find someone isolated, get them invested, then move outward, using your trust to get to everyone else. Olivia didn't react, didn't cry, didn't blink, just whispered. What do they want tomorrow? If they already have money, and gifts, and pictures, what are they coming for? I didn't have an answer, but Dad did. They're coming for leverage, he said darkly. And maybe for her. Mom gasped. I tightened my jaw. Olivia finally looked up at me, her voice barely audible. Luke, what do I do? Before I could answer, Dad's phone dinged. He checked the screen, eyes narrowing. It's from an unknown number, he said. What does it say? Mom asked. Dad read aloud. Tell Olivia to stop wasting our time. We know she's with you. Dad's phone buzzed, and his face went stiff. Tell Olivia to stop wasting our time. We know she's with you. Mom grabbed Olivia's arm. How do they know where you are? Olivia shook her head. I never told them, I swear. Then another buzz. A map screenshot. Our street. Our house. A blinking blue dot. Mom gasped. Olivia went pale. I steadied her. Before anyone could speak, a heavy knock hit the door, slow, deliberate. I checked the peephole. A man in a hood stood on the porch, holding up a paper. On it, a photo of Olivia taken that morning, and written across it. Talk to us. He spoke through the door, calm and chilling. Open up, Luke, we're owed something. He knew my name. Mom started crying. Olivia clutched my arm. Then he added, Midnight, she knows. I turned to her. Olivia, what happens at midnight? Her voice trembled. I told him midnight is when I'm always alone. Tires screeched outside as he left. Call 911. I said, and Olivia whispered, They're coming back. No one slept, but Olivia looked the worst, eyes red, hands shaking, flinching at every sound outside. She sat on the couch between my parents while I paced the living room, replaying the man's voice in my head. Midnight, she knows. The police had already come and gone, checking the yard and taking statements, but their parting line stuck with me. If he comes back, don't answer, just call. Easy for them to say. By noon, Olivia finally whispered the thing we'd all been avoiding. My apartment. All my stuff is there. If I don't show up at work Monday, you're not going alone. I said. Dad instantly grabbed his keys. Mom protested his bad knee. I cut in. 2 people go, me and Dad. Mom stays with Liv. It was the only plan that made sense. When we reached her building, nothing looked disturbed. But the quiet was wrong. We climbed the stairs, and Dad unlocked her door with the spare. The moment it cracked open, he froze. Her apartment wasn't trashed. It was organized. Too organized. Shoes aligned by height, couch blanket folded razor tight, mail stacked into perfect columns. Everything placed like someone had stood in the center of the room, deciding what message to send. Dad whispered, This isn't her. We stepped in carefully. Her bedroom door was cracked open. I pushed it with one finger. On her pillow lay a single sheet of printer paper. Midnight is when you open the door. Dad swore. I checked the window lock, latched, but that meant nothing. They could have been inside during her shift, during video chats. While she slept out, we packed fast, laptop, meds, clothes, and left. As we reached the parking lot, Dad grabbed my shoulder. A security camera, the one mounted above the lamppost, was snapped in half, not unscrewed, broken, deliberate. They didn't want footage. He murmured. They wanted us to know. I said. Back home, Olivia tried to be brave when she saw the bags, until Dad handed her the note. She crumpled. They were in there. She whispered. They were in my room. Mom held her tight. Dad locked every door twice. I checked the cameras. That's when Olivia's voice broke again. Luke. I remembered something else. I turned slowly. What? When he asked about midnight, I told him you sometimes walk me to my bike if I stay late. He asked your name, and then he said. She swallowed hard. Good to know who protects what's his. Mom stared at her, Dad stared at me. I wasn't sure which one of us felt the drop in our stomach deepest. I opened the backyard camera feed. A gray car idled in the alley behind the fence. Hooded driver, still, facing our back door, just watching, waiting, and Olivia whispered, "Midnight is tonight." The gray car didn't move, it just sat there in the alley, engine humming like it had all the time in the world. Dad closed the blinds immediately, but we all knew it was still there, watching, waiting, midnight creeping closer by the minute. Mom tried to act calm, but her hands shook as she filled the kettle. "We're calling the police again," she said. "I don't care if they think we're overreacting." Dad agreed, though his voice was tight. "This isn't intimidation anymore, this is staking out the house." But Olivia hugged herself and whispered, "What if calling makes it worse? What if he gets angry?" She was trembling so badly the couch shook with her. I sat beside her. "Liv, he's already dangerous. You don't negotiate with someone who's been in your home." She looked at me then, not scared but ashamed. I didn't think I was telling him anything important. I thought he liked knowing things about me. Dad cursed under his breath and dialed. The dispatcher said officers were being sent, but they couldn't guarantee arrival before midnight. Short-staffed, busy night, all the things no one wants to hear at a moment like this. Olivia stared at the floor. "He said midnight is when I'm alone." I said it jokingly, like sharing a detail. I didn't know he meant it literally. "He meant it literally," I said quietly. When the sun finally set, the house felt smaller, too quiet. Mom insisted we stay together in the living room. Dad kept checking the window despite knowing the blinds were closed. I kept refreshing the backyard camera feed. The car stayed, driver motionless. Then, 9:42 p.m., its brake lights flickered. Olivia jumped. "Is he getting out?" "No," I said. "Not yet." 10:17 p.m., the alley light flickered, and for 1 second the driver's face angled toward the camera. We couldn't make out features, just the shape of a grin. Mom whispered, "Luke, don't go near the doors, promise me." I nodded, but something in my stomach tightened. If he tried to break in, the police were too far out, we'd be on our own. 11:08 p.m., the car door cracked open an inch. Olivia's breathing went shallow. "No, no, please, not yet," Dad whispered. "If he steps onto the lawn, I'm grabbing the bat." 11:56 p.m., the car door opened fully. A figure stepped out, hood up, hands in pockets, walking toward our backyard gate. "Midnight from minutes early." I turned to Olivia. "What exactly did you tell him?" I asked quietly. "About what you do when the clock hits 12. Her lips trembled. "I told him." She swallowed hard. "I told him midnight is when I always unlock my back door to let the air in." Midnight was seconds away. The man was already at our backyard gate, moving like he belonged there. Olivia curled into the couch, whispering, "He thinks I'm going to open it. I told him I always do." Dad gripped the bat. Mom clutched her phone. I watched the camera feed. Every step he took felt louder than the clock. He lifted the gate latch gently, testing it, expecting it to open. Then he spoke through the fence, calm and certain. "Olivia, midnight, open the door." Olivia shook violently. "He's done this before, with someone else." Before the latch moved again, a police cruiser tore into the alley, spotlight blinding him. He jolted, sprinted for the gray car. But another cruiser blocked his path. Officers dragged him out, cuffed him, found his phone full of photos, maps, messages, everything. He was part of a local crew pretending to be overseas scammers. They targeted vulnerable women, then showed up in person when they had enough leverage. Olivia had been next. She moved in with us for a month, got therapy, changed everything, locks, number, routine. We helped her rebuild. And for my birthday, she got me an espresso machine with a note. For the brother who made sure I never opened the wrong door.